Hey everybody, Bradley here with another review, 2 nights in a row. Megalopolis was last night, check that one out, and now tonight is Joker. I wanted to start this review off by letting you know I have a psychology degree. I spent 6 years of my life studying mental illnesses and treatments for mental illnesses, and I specialized in what is commonly known as multiple personality disorder, but in the psychology realm, it's known as dissociative disorder, which is what is bantered about in this movie. A second thing that needs to be said is, and most reviews and the general audience are not aware of this, is that the title Joker 2 Folie à Deux is actually Folie à Deux is a psychological um, shared illness. Basically, if you're around someone long enough, you start to behave like one another. You start to see things in the same way as another person, and you start to imitate their behavior. Maybe you dress alike, etc., etc. So that is a psychological event that happens sometimes, and it is well known, documented, and that comes into play in this movie a lot between two characters and the Joker, uh, between Harley Quinn, or Lee as she's called in this film, and Ricky, who's another inmate in the detention facility that Arthur, the Joker, is in. Also wanted to backtrack a little bit to what made the first movie so well received and liked, was that there were breaks in reality where you as the audience did not know whether it was really happening in life or if it was just a figment of Arthur's imagination. So it always kept you guessing, and that element is kind of missing in this film because it's quite obvious when he is in his fantasy realm and when the shared fantasy is also happening. There's no mistaking it. It's quite obvious. Uh, the next thing that needs to be noted is that this is very much a musical. The trailers kind of hide it. They kind of don't hide it. It's used as a method to break from the dreary, insane, depressing movie that it is. It's a movie about two crazy people falling in love with each other. But it's actually used as a love language between Arthur and between Lee, Harley Quinn. So it's very important to the plot. However, that was not. It was used way too much. They could have cut it out a little bit. Some of the numbers could have been cut completely. Some of the numbers could have been shortened as well. We get it. That's how she seduces Arthur in this movie. That's how they bond, is through music. And it's clever. And that's also one reason why Lady Gaga is a perfect person to play this character. I also wanted to say that this movie is very, very well acted. Both of the performances are great. They put themselves completely into their characters. And especially Joaquin Phoenix, what he did to his body is scary. He looks so frail and skinny and almost dead. And as the movie goes along and he regains his psychosis, he starts to get healthier looking. So there's a lot of journey in this movie, but this movie's not doing well. It's bombing in the theaters, and it's for two reasons, I think. One, the first film was very dark. It was a 2 hour ride of someone's descent into madness, and that is not something that everybody's going to sign up to see again. I own the film, but I have not seen it a second time, or well, actually a third time. I've not seen it more than twice, even though I do own the film, and it's an excellent film. The way it was made, everything about it was really well done. It was original, but it is a very hard movie to watch. This movie is less hard to watch because of all the musical numbers, but to some people that would make it even more difficult to watch because it's hard to take it seriously. It's hard to take the character seriously because of the musical numbers. And there was about 20 people in my Dolby Cinema theater that I saw it with, and about 30 to 45 minutes in, people started walking out. I saw two or three couples that walked out of it. And then at the end, I saw two more couples that walked out early before it was finished. Probably because they didn't like the way the ending was going, which is another reason probably why the critics and the audiences are panning this. On Rotten Tomatoes, I believe both the audience score and the critic score is about 33%. I actually like this movie in many ways, not because of the musical. I think if this movie could have been good, it could have been well received if they cut the musical numbers some, if they cut a couple of the numbers out completely, or if they reduced them in length. It's like, we get it, they talk to each other through song, but it doesn't really work in this movie. Even though the performances are amazing, it really doesn't work to help the plot. And then the second reason I think this is bombing is because of the ending. If the movie ended the way that Harley Quinn wanted it to end, it probably would have been well received. I think most people that are familiar with the Joker in DC comic book world know that you expect Arthur to break out of the asylum or break out of the detention facility, fall in love with Harley Quinn, them hook up, and then start to take down the underworld of Gotham, which is the Baroni and Falcone families. That does not happen in this movie, even though that's what most people would expect and want to see, and have some action and some drama and some bad guys, some actual other bad guys, because a lot of people, you want to root for the villain sometimes, and that's the one thing about these Joker movies is you don't really want to root for him, but you kind of do, but you kind of don't. So the ending was not very good. The musical aspect was, I enjoyed it. I mean, I like the old songs and everything. They're catchy, but it's not for everybody. General audiences are not going to dig it, and the critics are definitely not digging it. But they're also the psychological aspect of the shared insanity. It's not understood by hardly anybody, I doubt, and it's actually brilliant the way that Harley Quinn seduces the Joker through the music, and that's their love language between each other. But it's done over the top, and it's too much, and it just doesn't really fit the mood or what we expect. This movie is two things. It is about the love relationship between Arthur and Lee, or Harley Quinn and the Joker, and Arthur's trial, or whether he is to be tried for his crimes, for the 6 murders that he committed. And that's what this movie leads up to, and what it's about. And that's it. There's no bad guys. There's no Batman. Nothing like that. And it's a drama, and that's Joker. I don't know if you want to see it or not. I give it a 7, because it really could have been brilliant, and a lot of aspects of it are brilliant, but they just screwed it up with the editing. They screwed it up with just too much musical aspects, and I wasn't a fan of the ending as well. But it is what it is. I give it a 7 out of 10. But I can understand this movie's going to bomb. There's not much to like about this other than the performances Like I said, Joaquin Phoenix is amazing in this. He puts all of himself into it, and the same with Lady Gaga. She wasn't great in it, but it was a really good performance. I was impressed, and I don't really like her that much. So, do you need to see it in a theater? No. Most people aren't going to see it in the theater. If they were going to watch it, they wouldn't watch it at home in a safe environment, where you don't have to worry about crazy people or anything like that. You can pause it or stop it if you don't want to see it and you don't want to pay $20 to go see it. So that's Joker. Like it or not, that's my impression. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and subscribe if you can. I'm trying to get monetized and could use some subscribers. Thanks. Have a good night, and see you at the movies.